I'm John McQuay with 8541 Tactical, and today we're here with the review of the Shield Hybrid Holster from Aegis Armory. Got an email from Steven at Aegis Armory a little while back asking if I'd like to take a look at some of their products, and since I pretty much carry a handgun on a daily basis as a requirement of my occupation and just good old common sense, I was very interested in what they had to offer. Now, I've gone through quite a few holsters. You always find something you like about a holster and find something you dislike about a holster, and then it'll eventually grate on you for a while. And you'll always try to find out if there's something better out there, something more comfortable, something that maybe suits your lifestyle a little bit better. So when I got the chance to try out one of their products, I was very interested. Now, I've used a lot of different holsters in the past, but this is really the first hybrid holster that I've used. And when I say hybrid holster, what I mean is it's Kydex on the front and it's leather on the back. Now, anybody that's actually worn a Kydex inside the waistband holster, a full Kydex holster, knows that that plastic gets really hot and it just is not comfortable pressed against your skin for any amount of time. The hybrid holsters take advantage of that because they use a leather material against your skin, and then on the other side you have the advantages of the Kydex. You have the grip, the molding, the added retention that the Kydex gives you. Now, the Shield holster from Aegis Armory is a very well constructed setup. Aegis allows you to choose several different options for leather color and pattern and Kydex color and pattern. The one that we have here is black leather and it is carbon fiber look Kydex. Now, the reason that I selected this choice is twofold. First of all, black tends to go with everything when we're talking about concealment holsters. With the prevalence of smartphones and belt pouches and all that for them, if your shirt rides up a little bit and somebody sees a little bit of black pouch or black plastic on your side, they're not going to think anything. Secondly is the way Aegis Armory sets up these holsters. We have the belt clips to use for inside the waistband wear, but we also have slots that allow you to unscrew the belt clips and then use this as a regular outside the waistband belt holster. And since most of my duty gear is basket weave, and it's pretty common for law enforcement gear to be black basket weave, I went ahead and went with the black carbon fiber so that if I have a chance to wear this in a plainclothes type environment, then it works well. I generally don't like to wear holsters like this when they're out and visible because other than the friction, there's no retention device. So that's just my preference. If it's going to be out in the open, I prefer to have some kind of retention device on it. But if you're going to wear it underneath a suit coat or something, you're still going to be good to go. Now, when I initially got this out of the package and started looking at it, again, my handgun here is clear and unloaded. I got it out, stuck my Glock 26 in it, and noticed that it kind of rattled around. It wasn't really tight, which is not what I'm used to with Kydex holsters. I'm used to them being very tight right out of the box. A lot of leather holsters are very tight right out of the box, so you have to break them in. Well, as soon as I applied some bend to it, like you would have inside your pants, I noticed that the pistol tightened up in there, the Kydex sucked down onto it, and it became very, very firm in there. So it took a good deal of tension to break it out. When I put it on, I found that was the case. It was very, very secure. I didn't have any concerns whatsoever about my pistol rattling around or falling out. Aegis went to quite a bit of detail on these holsters. As you can see, there's even a little bit of artistic detail in the way they cut the Kydex and made it to the leather. But little things like the trigger guard is flared out here, so you don't have to worry about when you go to holster your handgun catching the trigger guard on it. It's flared to drop in there nicely. The whole perimeter of the Kydex is flared out just enough to give you a little bit of a funnel to drop the handgun in. They relieved the sight channel, so when you draw your gun, you don't have to worry about the sight hooking inside the holster. It comes out nice and smooth, no problems whatsoever on that. They relieved material along here, so when you come in to grip your holster, you can get a solid combat grip when you come out. That is something that is very, very important on a concealment holster when you have a concealment garment over top of it. So if you're wearing a sweatshirt, suit jacket, whatever, and you go to bring that holster out, if your cover garment catches on the handgun, you want to have a really good grip on there so you can tear that gun loose and you don't have to worry about the garment catching it and pulling it out of your hand. That could be a very bad situation. So having it relieved so you get a really good grip on it is great. It's also relieved enough on the back side that it's not going to come in contact with the magazine release and pop your magazine loose. So a lot of detail in this holster. Now I carried it for about a month off and on, and I really, really like this holster. In fact, it is now my primary plainclothes holster, my primary off-duty holster, because the way it hooks in, first of all, you just drop it into your pants, and these clips hook over your belt and over your waistband. So it goes on fairly quickly. It'll take a little bit of trial and error to see how it works best for you to tuck it in. When I go to drop it into my pants, what I find is it's better to get the front edge in, get that clip started, and then tuck it around like you tuck a shirt in, and then get the back clip on, and then make sure both clips are seated all the way down. It takes a little bit of fiddling to get it on because of the width of the holster, and also because it's rather blunt down here. It's not tapered down. The leather holsters, the inside the waistband holsters that I've carried prior to this, they generally come down in their closed muzzle and they come to almost a blade of leather sticking out of the bottom. And they're easy to get on because you insert that blade of leather in between your waist and your waistband of your pants and just push it down, and it acts like a wedge and allows the holster to slide in. The disadvantage of those is they don't have these wings here with the clips on them. They just have the regular attachment point in the center, and they tend to shift forward and back. With these nice wide wings and the clips on them, then there's less tendency for your handgun to shift forward and back, and you don't get that bump in it to make sure it's where it needs to be, or even worse, reaching down and having to readjust it with your hand. That's a very bad tell if you're in a place where you don't want people to know that you're armed. So this is really nice. I felt very little need to make sure that my handgun was in its place. It held very well. The best thing I can say about the Aegis Armory Shield holsters, while I was wearing it, I could forget that I was wearing it. I didn't really need to mess with it a whole lot. These run about $55. That's their starting price. They're available for a wide variety of handguns, not just my little baby Glock here. So go over to Aegis Armory's website and check it out. It's actually aegisarmory.us, and we'll leave a link in the description down below. They have a wide variety of leather and Kydex color options, so go through and check it out and see if there's something that catches your fancy. If you decide to order from them, please make sure you let them know that you heard about them from us. One other neat little thing that they sent along is this little piece of Kydex here. It's called the Guardian. Now, this runs about 15 bucks, and it comes with a little 550 cord lanyard. And what it's designed to do is cover the trigger guard on a Glock. And you heard how solidly it snapped on there. I mean, this handgun is really held in there. What this is for, those of you that have messed with Glocks for any amount of time know there are no external safeties on the Glock. There is just simply the trigger safety and the internal safeties. Once you depress that trigger safety, all it takes is about 3 to 5 pounds on the trigger and the weapon will discharge. So a Glock is not something that you just want to throw in a cargo pocket or throw in a pants pocket without any kind of holster. The Guardian takes care of that. It snaps over the trigger so you can take your locked and cocked Glock, you can't lock a Glock, so your loaded Condition 1 Glock, and throw it in a cargo pocket, or throw it in a purse, or throw it in a dispatch bag or something, and you know that that trigger is protected. You really don't need the rest of the gun protected because it's a Glock. There's not a whole lot of levers or anything on here. You don't have to worry about disengaging a safety accidentally. It comes up enough that it really kind of blocks the magazine release from being disengaged. So if you're a female and you want to carry a purse, this may be a good option for you, although I would be careful, make sure that nothing makes its way into that barrel. I would still obey the old reasoning that whatever pocket you carry a gun in, that is the only thing that goes in that pocket. No keys, no change, no gum, none of that nonsense. Only the firearm. But it gives you an added option. Now, one thing that I will tell you on this, because I can just see somebody thinking about doing this, do not try to hang this around your neck. The reason being is, see where that muzzle's pointing? We don't want that. We do not want a loaded handgun pointed up at our face. That's just really not a good thing. So, but a cargo pocket carry or back pocket carry or something, this is really great. And then you take the end on the lanyard and just loop it around itself, and do that around a belt loop or around your belt and drop it in your pocket. And that way when you bring the handgun out, you just simply tear it away, and the Guardian will just simply break away when you draw the handgun. So a really neat little deal. They're about 15 bucks, and again, they come in a variety of different colors and patterns. So check that out. I don't know that this is a product for everybody, but those of you that may want to carry a handgun in a non-traditional manner, it is a great way to make sure that you're carrying your Glock in as safe a manner as possible. That's all we have on the review of the Aegis Armory Shield and Guardian products. Make sure you check our blog entry for more information. We'll leave that link down in the description. If you got any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below or send them to us on Facebook or Twitter. Please make sure you give us a thumbs up if you've liked our video and share it far and wide. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And until next time, get out and shoot!